Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. 17 listings on the TREB system, then we got 3 more on the Ortis system. Only one of which I'm going to talk about. 2 others are in the rural area. So there's some interesting stuff. 3 of the same model, which we don't see very often, especially because that model doesn't come up that much. So it's an interesting episode. All right, so McDermott Way, 538. I've said this before, for the 2-story townhouses with a backyard, there's a bit of a race to the bottom right now. And this one, as far as I know, is the lowest priced 2-story. So there's other 3-story homes. Lowest priced 2-story with a backyard that exists out there right now. It's 1130 square feet. Actually doesn't look too bad at all. There's another one on the street that I think this one actually beats. Exact same floor plan, and we've even seen this model on this street with a finished basement go for $552. So they've got this in a good spot. And what I like about McDermott is it's almost, if you imagine, like you've got Gaisley Circle, which is off of Clark, and if it's a self-contained street, except McDermott kind of goes right in between. So it's a quiet street off of another quiet street. So it's like a double quiet. If you don't live on this street, there's absolutely no traffic beyond just people who live here or guests. So it's one of those streets where you go, I don't recognize that car, because there's just, you know who lives in that area. If that appeals to you, then this is a good option. And the school district's great too. Now, it's always good when the listing agent screws up the street. So this one is actually Bronte Street South. And so this is Bronte Meadows Rd South. So you're not even going to find it on a map. And the way things work is that if your address isn't written right, if there's a spelling error, it's not going to show up on realtor.ca on the maps or anything else. It's Bronte Street South. How do I know? Because my office is on Bronte Street South. It's a renoed home. And the other thing is, most of these are going for $4 something. To see $559, I just don't even get it. So I don't think there's a market at all for this. Number 1, because they can't find it. Number 2, because you can buy a nice version of this home for $100,000 less. 674 Rose Heath, 589, under 600. Very good for essentially a detached home. Clean, tidy. Not a huge house, probably 12 or 1300 square feet. But, you know, again, this is good value. It backs onto dairy. And it backs onto, so if you look at, I'm going to put the link down below, but you've got, if you type in Milton development map, you're going to see there's a map here, rural and urban. If you go into that, you're going to see a PDF. If you click on the different zones, you're going to see what's coming up. Because this one has passed through the tests, not the tests, they've gone through the processes, but the home is right here, 674. This is the hospital. Remember, it's expanded now. There's more over here. That's 610 right there. What is 610? It's 610 condos. And so this is pretty much Rose Heath just over there. It kind of went off, and now there's all these dancing people and people eating food and watching symphonies. And so look how nice it is to live in this condo. But that's where that is. So going back to this is, if you buy, you're going to have busy Dairy Road, you're going to have the hospital, and you're going to have this right behind you, which is part of the reason why they're asking less than $600,000. Now, Elliott Creston, 50 by 120 foot lot. You've got a detached home, side split in Dorset Park. Why is it listed for less than $600,000? I'll give you a hint. It's right here. Electric baseboard heating. Costs more to heat your house. But the home actually looks pretty good inside. There's lots of upgrading and improvements. Most of these homes are not as open concept as this one is on the main floor. And you get a nice sized backyard. To retrofit this, to run the ductwork, putting your gas furnace in, sometimes it's not always possible. If it is, then you're looking at significant costs, like easily $10,000 to $20,000. There's apparently a 50-year roof warranty. They don't really show it from this angle, so I don't know what kind of roof they put on. And they've upgraded the electrical because most of the electrical in this neighborhood is aluminum wiring. And so they may have, I don't know if that means that they've just checked it out or if they've actually replaced it all with copper. I have no idea. So when you take listing pictures, it's probably a good idea to get rid of your, well, first of all, when you do your floors, you don't want to be able to see your reflection in the floor. That's too much gloss. It reminds me of someone who wears too much makeup. How's that for staging? Isn't that awesome? You may want to take your Amazon Prime delivery box out of your house and away from your staircase before you actually put it for sale. I don't understand why people do stuff like that. Anyway, it's essentially a vacant home, and it has a rather odd choice of wallpaper. There's also some interesting stuff happening here. It's funny to me when your pictures kind of get sabotaged because of the flash that shows relief lighting on some of the things you probably don't want to share with others. It's 1820 square feet plus a finished basement. The price is not bad. Presentation could use some work. The home itself may not be too bad inside. And this would be south of Derry Road on 4th Line. So you get some traffic here. It's not that bad though. 214 Riverplace is kind of interesting to me because you have this staircase that goes up to the 2nd floor. So it is possible that this home was a bungalow, that they added this space afterwards. It's hard to tell just from the pictures. That's probably your 2nd floor staircase. So, I don't know. This one's a bit of a mystery to me. Even the way the floors are here is that it's almost like that. Was that a wall at some point? Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm looking at this one going, it's very mysterious. Is there the possibility of maybe having a second area upstairs? Here's how I imagine this home being used, is that you could have somebody who, almost like an older couple, who could use the bungalow, and if there's laundry, bathroom, and living area and kitchen on the main floor, that means no stairs for them. And then you've got, let's say, maybe a kid who's been divorced, like a grown kid with even their kids, so grandkid plus son or daughter, maybe living upstairs, and they have the privacy of coming up and down that staircase on their own. They can come and go as they please. Basement could be used for either one of them or a space together. But that to me is what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this. It may be possible to do a kind of duplex style where you've got maybe a rental up above. Hard to say, but it's interesting. It's something we don't see every day. So this one on Greenlease, very hard to get anything less than $850, even with the market changing, where you have a double car garage, detached home on a pie-shaped lot with a long driveway too. So that driveway, basketball, hockey, fantastic for that. Greenlease is a quiet crescent that you can probably be out on the street anyway, but even if you had 4 cars, looks like you could park them all in your driveway. The house is nothing to write home about. The fact that it has a pretty nice finished basement is probably a good thing, and then they've got a huge backyard too. So very, very nice. Like this one, it's definitely one of the top picks today. Now here is the first of 3 Stonechurch models. So you've got $949 for this one here. It's the lowest price one. I also think it's kind of the best. This is kind of unfinished. That might be gravel that you're walking through. You have a front living room that's 2 stories. You've got an area up above, a 2nd floor area that overlooks that. You've got a separate dining room, then kitchen and family in the back. Now they have converted their hall closet into a little workspace. So this was a place where you hang coats, and it could be converted back. Mixed feelings on this. I think that chair coming in and out is going to block the stairs. But it is an interesting idea. If you need a home office or a little workspace, you want to keep an eye on the kids while they do homework, it's not a bad idea as far as being central to everything. That's your little loft area upstairs. So this would be another place where it would make sense to do an office. Even this front living room, I've seen people use those as offices. So there might be a couple of people that work from home. They want to be in different places. And then 4 bedrooms upstairs. There's a huge closet in your master. Is a big ensuite, so there's lots of space in the master suite. Then you got a finished basement here too. So very nice. Then we move to story at 984, and it's like you've got some cool finishes here. The waffle ceiling is not, I know it's impressive, it's not that expensive to put in. So it can create a big impact. I think the rest of the home has to match that to really set it off. And there's some parts of this that are nice. I think the brown cabinets were really in style a few years ago. Not as much now. Now that it's, even dark kitchens are kind of going away. It's the white kitchen is where it's at. But then you look at the shape of the cupboard and you say, okay, so if it has that little curvy thing, it's not as good. If it's more square, if it's more linear and simple, that's the way to go. And you could potentially paint those cabinets, do them properly. You don't just get a roller and do them. You get someone who's a professional who can do it right. And you could find yourself for probably $100 a door, having a whole new kitchen. Just like I talked about earlier this week, this one has decided to move the deck and everything behind here closer to, not as close to the house, closer to the fence, a little bit more privacy, but you also have to be careful. Colin Best, friend of the show, local counselor, awesome dude, he pointed out a good thing is, are they changing the grading? There's drainage usually behind these homes. Once every few homes, you'd actually see the storm cover. I don't know. That's definitely an interesting point, though, is that if any of these homes change that grading, you might find you're flooding your neighbor without even knowing it. So there it is. I don't know how much grass you have left after all that stuff's done. And then the last one here on Stevenson, the same model. Apparently it has a pond in the back. And the agent has warned us that the pond is actually deeper than what you'd expect. So be careful if you're close to the pond. Do not go inside. There's no other pictures though, and it's the highest priced one. So I don't know. So far from what I'm seeing, I would go for the 951. So this one on Fifth Line has kind of an interesting appearance. Not sure if I love the way it looks, but it's hard to tell sometimes from the pictures. Not bad finishes, 3,800 square feet. So to replace this home is probably 200 a square foot. You have a really large loft area, which could potentially increase your living space quite a bit. Anyway, go up. I'm just trying to get to that. There's 50 photos here. They've done some upgrades, which is good. And you've got, I think, 3 acres here. 12 acres. There you go, even better. Look at that space. That's an amazing spot. Be great for a home office. Be great for like a band jam room. Lots of windows here, which is great for a space up there. Potentially there could be a walkout balcony from the 2nd or 3rd floor. And then your 12 acres there too. So kind of cool. That's not bad. If you look at what else is out there for 1.55 million or close by, I think that this one is one of the better options out there. So there you go. So I wish you a happy weekend, as happy as this lady dancing here or these people going to the symphony. There you go. That's the week. Enjoy yours. It's so great. It's fantastic. So have a great weekend. We'll see you back again next week with more Milton Daily Homes.